Hi, welcome to G-Card Pilates, session 1. So today we're not going to use any props at all, and you can see that I actually have socks on only because my feet are cold. So it's either barefoot or socks, please. So wherever you are seated, and I'm going to, like I said before in the video, if you're seated in a chair, I will give you cues and how to move your body within being in a chair. So wherever you are, I want you to sit. Knees can be bent, so either in the chair or on the floor. I want your knees bent, and I want you to sit right on top of your hip bones. And let's just start by taking just a couple of nice, really big, deep inhales and deep exhale. So really think about filling the lobes of your lungs with your breath. Maybe even taking your hands to the sides of your lungs and filling them. And then as you exhale, let it go. And then feel it deflate. And again, one more time. Take a big, deep breath in. And then just gently let it go. Bring your hands down beside you. And I want you to really acknowledge how your upper back and your neck are feeling, because most, and I'm going to generalize this for women, so if there's any men, I'm sorry, but most women carry a lot of their stress in their shoulders and in their upper back and even into their neck as well. So let's just start by taking a couple of shoulder rolls down and back, and these are not to be like fast and down. I want you to really be intentional. Like take them up and round them down. Envisioning that you're putting your shoulder blades into back pockets if you had pants on with pockets in them. One more time as you circle it down and back. Now, let's bring them forward and down and really over-articulate. Get those arms involved. Over-articulate the rounding forward, because a lot of times we tend to sit like this, driving in front of the computer. So one more time, rolling them forward and down. And I want you to sit tall, and I want you to open through your chest, so you're going to feel your shoulders maybe actually start to take a little bit engagement here. I want you to tuck your fingers, so either seated in the chair or on the mat. And I want you to sit tall first. Now, if you're seated on a chair, I want you to come a little bit closer to the front or the middle of the chair. And we're going to start by just rolling back. So this is what's called a pelvic tilt. So you should feel your pelvis. As you roll back, you're going to feel it tip more forward. And then bring it up. And again, excuse me, let's take it back for 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Now, as you are here, if you're feeling a lot of pressure or tension in your upper legs, I want you to extend your legs out a little bit more. But those are called your hip flexors, which means that you're actually using the hip flexors instead of your abdominal muscles to help propel you back. Now, from here, cross your arms. Sit nice and tall on top of your sit bones. And this one is called a hinge back. So it's like if you think about like a door opening and closing, all we're going to do, so it's a flat back. The other one was a curved back, or what's called a C-curve back. So you're just going to take it back and then bring it forward for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you can stop here, or you can continue with a couple more with me. And continue for 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Now bring it all the way up. This time I want you to bring your arms so they're going to be like, and I want you to think about, you can extend your legs if you're sitting on the floor, or you can extend them if you're sitting in the chair. But I want you to think about, and a lot of times we don't always think about this, but if you are tight through your ribs, you're going to feel this, and I'll explain in just a second what I mean. But I want you to just take your arms like your propellers and turn them toward the camera. And now bring them back, and then take the same thing and turn it the other way. Now I want you to take your rib cage. I'm going to face you. And I want you to bring your hands to the side of your rib cage. And what this is doing is I want you to actually physically turn. So if you think about your spine and you have the axis of your spine, your rib cage moves around the axis of your spine. Now, one more time. Now, if you have limited mobility or range of motion in your ribs, don't be surprised. But we're going to do a couple more exercises here that's going to actually show you and connect. Now, from here, I want you to turn and just let your head stay forward and turn and just bring your shoulder as far back as you can. And then bring it forward. And then go to the other side. And then I'm going to teach you or demonstrate with you. I want you to take your hand out in front of you. And I want you to watch your thumb. So your eyes are going to follow your thumb. And you're going to bring it all the way around you. Continue looking at your thumb and notice what happens to your range of motion. And again, bring it back to the front. We're going to stay on this same side. And I want you to just, again, pivot or to the axis of your own spine. Now, if you're sitting in a chair with handles on it, you might have to come more forward. One more time as you take it to the other side. Now, let's change sides. Only because I'm facing you, I'm going to do it on the same side. So let's go to the other side now. So first of all, you're just going to turn your head and let that shoulder, so you're moving your shoulder slightly coming back here, and then bring it forward. Let's do that one more time on that side. And you might even notice that one side is going to be what I'm going to call tweakier than others. Extend your arm out in front of you. Let your eyes follow your thumb, and you're just going to rotate it behind you, and then bring it back. And again, take it behind you and forward. Two more times. And now last one. And as you come forward now, if you're sitting in the chair, I want you to open your legs, just like you'd be doing if you're seated on the floor. So you're going to have your knees wider, and I want you to sit nice and tall. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to do the same thing as we're going to do on the floor. I want you to let your hands trace your knees or your legs to the point where you're going to stop. If you can go all the way to your feet, then go there. But I want you to work within your range of motion here and press the palms of your hands into the tops of your thighs as you press yourself down. So it's almost like you're giving yourself a massage. Now you're going to reverse it. Press the palms in once again. Pull them up. Let your shoulders be active in this. So as you're pressing down, when you come up, pull those shoulder blades back. Let your chest open here, which is going to enable you to breathe deeper. Now, from here, take your hand to the floor. Your opposite hand is going to reach up toward the ceiling. But now, before you move, I want you to reach up. So you're grounding through here. I'm going to do it closest to the camera. So what you're going to do is you're going to ground down through your hip. So I want you to anchor this hip in toward the chair or the floor. Reach that arm up. Take your other arm and place it on the floor or on the side of the chair and reach your body up and over, which is facilitating, once again, an opening through your side, which is enabling you to breathe deeper. And again, bring it back. Now, let your arm reach up toward the ceiling first and then over. Now, I know on Friday, somebody told me that they can't take your arm overhead. So what you're going to do is you're going to just bring it as high as you can. And you're going to do the same thing. So if your arm is extended, let's do it 2 more times, taking it over and then back. Now on this last one, I want you to take it over and back, but I want you to hold it. But I want you to let your arm go where it feels natural for you. And I think the biggest thing that I want to say to you, everyone, is I want you to have permission and freedom. If I'm doing something and it doesn't feel good in your body, Find something that feels good for you. Let's go to the other side. One side might work or go a little bit deeper than the other side. So now start with your arm extended. Ground down through your hip. So that hip bone is grounded here. And you're going to reach that arm up and over. Now, and again, reach it up and over. Take the position with your arm that you need to if your arms or shoulders are just not flexible or if there's pain. One more time. Now this time I want you to hold it up, but I want you to move that arm. Maybe it feels better to bring it in front of you, maybe just keeping it down. And now go ahead and bring it up. Now, if you remember from Friday, but we talked a lot about side bending when I had you guys do it when you were seated. Now what I'd like you to do is bring your arms so they're going to be shoulder lengthened down. And we're going to make small circles here. And this sounds silly, and I'm going to tell you, ladies, if you have arms that you want to tighten and tone underneath, this is what you're going to want to do. And I'm going to show you. But the circles are small. And you're going to just circle forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to pause. Don't let your arms drop. And now you're going to take them backwards for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the palms of your hands close together. So now you can see my arms, as you can see how they're framing my face. And now you're going to open them up. And again, this is focusing on that upper back and pull them in. But don't let them touch. I want you to keep the space between your hands here. And now open and pull them in for 4, 3, 2, and when now, if you're not used to exercising your upper body, please stop here. Now, let them drop. The next one, we're going to take the palms of our hands and you're going to, like you were looking in a mirror, but I'm sitting sideways because I want you to see. So in Pilates, you're going to see a lot of the movements are smaller, and I'll explain why in a minute, but the smaller the movements, they support the bigger muscles in our body. So now, from here, you're just going to lift and lower. Just lift them up a little bit and then lower them back down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower them all the way down. Pardon me. If your shoulders are doing what I'm going to call a little bit of burning, let's roll those shoulders down and back once again. From here, take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. So you're going to bring it just up. And now your opposite hand, I want you to bring it right behind you. So again, we're going back to the shoulders here. And you're just going to turn slightly. So now my head is turning over that back shoulder. And I just want you to breathe into it. So if it's not comfortable, bring your hand that's on the floor more forward. Bring it back to center. Bring your opposite hand to the outside of your thigh. And now again, finding it behind you. Bring it back to center. Now separate your feet. If you're on the chair, you're still going to separate your feet. I'm going to show you arm positions here. This is actually called saw. So it's going to get into our oblique muscles, which are the muscles that support us on our side bodies, as well as our abdominals. So if you are, I'm going to show you the version first that if your arms are bothering you. So you're going to rotate, and then you're going to just reach. And then you're going to come back and you're going to bend your elbow back in. And then you're going to twist and you're going to go to the other side. So if you're doing the full version with me, you're going to take your arms all the way out to a T position and you're going to reach for your foot. Or maybe you're up here on the top of your shin. But you're going to reach and then reach again. Bring it back to center, and then we're gonna go to the other side. Now, your hands. You're gonna reach, and it's almost like when you reach, I'm gonna come back to the other side. I want you to flip the palm of your hand so it's facing the floor. This back hand actually flips up. So my little finger is pointing up toward the ceiling. This is called saw. So again, let's keep going here. So the version that I showed you, and keep going for 4 and 3, 2, 1 more. Good. Now, if you're seated in a chair or on the floor, bend your knees so your feet are back on the floor. And I want you to round your arms. So it's like you are reaching, or like you are putting your arms around a big ball. So I want you to start with your arms rounded so you can see where I am here. And I want you to roll back. And as you roll back, for the first 2, we're just going to keep our arms rounded here and roll back. Now with this next one, you're going to roll back, but I want you to reach that arm as far behind you, and I want your vision to stay forward though, and then come up. And then again on the other side. So you're going to keep reaching behind you. As you look, you should feel the extension behind you as well as in front of you. One more time on each side. Okay, as we come to the next one, if you're in the chair, you're going to stay upright. If you're with me on the floor, you're going to come back onto your forearms. From here, so if you're in the chair, you're going to do the same thing. So I want you to pick your leg up, and all you're going to do is take it out and draw it in. So if you're in the chair, you're going to be picking it up and drawing it towards your chest. Press it out for 4, 3, point your toes, 2, and 1. Stay on that same leg. Now this time you're going to flex your foot. I want you to think about pressing through the heel of your foot and then draw it back in. So notice just that tiny change and what happens to your leg, maybe your foot, maybe your ankle, as you're pressing through the heel. Let's take it out 2 more times. And now from here, I want you to just bring your foot down to the floor. Now let's go to your other leg. So lifting it up, pointing your toe, and you're just going to press it out and then draw it in. And again, so point, pull it in 2 more times like this. Now, flex that foot as much as you can. If you've got issues with ankle mobility, I would really like to hear from you in the comments, either in the comment section or an email. So press it out and then draw it back in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your foot to the floor. Now, if you are experiencing shoulder tension and or pain from what we just did with our shoulders back, I want you to come forward. So if you're seated in the chair, just come upright. If you're on the floor, I want you to come to a seated position. I want you to take your hands to your neck like we did on Friday. And I want you to think about finding the biggest part of your muscle. So it's called your trapezius muscle in your upper back. And you're just going to turn your head. So you're going to do that drag and pull that I did before on Friday. And I'm going to move a little closer to the camera because I really want you to see how it looks on me. So I'm going to do it closest to the camera. So I'm going to actually pull my hand and turn my head at the same time. It shouldn't hurt as you're taking a hold of the skin to create that. So this is those muscles back there, there's a whole bunch of them, but it's called neck release is what it is. And one more time, let's do it on the other side. So these are things that you can do, especially this is something that you easily could do when you're in the classroom if you've got tension in your neck. One more time on this side. And now as you come center this time, I want you to take your feet once again and bring them back to the mat. And I want you to allow your feet to sit as you, I shouldn't say sit, I want you to feel them grounded on the floor. And a lot of times when we move throughout our day, especially in relation to our nervous system in our body, if you're feeling like you're out of sorts, if you can do it without your shoes on, that's fine. If you can't, just start by lifting and moving through the mobility in your ankles. And oftentimes it's not even something we think about. Let's go back to your fingers being tucked. Now from here, we're actually going to go a little bit deeper this time. And I want you to think about, so if you know your abs are not strong, I want you to just hold on here. If you think you can join me, let your arms be extended and you're going to roll yourself back to your point of control and then bring it up. And again, taking it back, bringing it up. Let's take it back 2 more times. Now, as you come up this time, I want you to take your arms and bring them out in front of you, but you're going to cross your arms. So you're going to cross it at your wrist. I want you to cross and open. And then when you come back, you're going to cross again. Now, open and now cross in the opposite direction this time and then open. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what we just did was a variation of what I'm going to call connecting the right side and the left side to our body, of the hemispheres in our brain. So now from here, I want you to take your legs. If you're sitting in the chair, just let your feet come to the sides, like you can come to the sides of them, or you might even just leave them, but connect your feet somehow. But I want you to bring your soles of your feet and just gently let them open. So you could have your legs wide in a chair, but I want you to connect if you can. And I want you to fold yourself over. And again, if you are new to exercising, please listen to your body. Now, as you come up, I want you to bring your legs together. Let your head come towards your knees. It's not about touching your knees. And as you open, you're going to let so you think about like if your body was like, let's say an avocado, and the nut is being exposed in the center. You're just rolling and opening it up from your midline or from the center of your body here. Let's take it back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, as you come up now, I want you to extend your legs all the way out. And I want you to just come out and over. Now, you have a couple options. You can stay upright if that's where you prefer to be. You can also come forward, but you can round your back as you come forward. Maybe letting your head come towards, and again, it's not necessarily about how far you're coming down. Now, as you inhale, slowly come up, but I want you to cross your ankles. Now, I'm going to give you, again, options here. If you're seated in the chair, you can just cross your ankles or you can keep them straight. But I want you to bring, crossing your legs, even taking them out. It's entirely up to you. But I want you to bring your hands to your knees in whatever position you are. And as we move through the weeks, a lot of, like I did arm circles with you, we did shoulder circles, and now we're gonna actually do some abdominal circling. So with your hands on your knees, you're just gonna circle. Now, your circles might not look like mine. They might be slower. They might be faster. You might even just stay upright and not move at all. So as you move through what we're doing right here, abdominal circling is really good for what I'm going to call an internal massage to release your nervous system, to increase digestion and aid in elimination. One more time as you circle it around. So yes, ladies, this is something that helps us quote unquote poop. Bring it all the way around. Now let's go the other direction because the colon runs side to side with inside of us. And no, I'm not afraid to talk about that because so many people, especially if you don't drink water, my guess is, and I'm talking here not to embarrass anybody, but my guess is that you probably have issues with constipation. When you drink water, it's going to aid in keeping everything moist to help you have normal bowel movements. One more time. And now go ahead and stop. Bring your hands to your knees. We're either in your chair or on the floor. And I want you to roll yourself back. So if you have done yoga or you've done this on the floor, it's a seated cat pose. So you're tucking your chin into your chest, and then you're going to lift, use your hands on your knees to propel you to lift up toward the ceiling. Let your eyes lift toward the ceiling. And again, pulling it back. And now lifting up toward the ceiling. One more time. Pulling back. And lifting yourself up toward the ceiling. And now soften through your shoulders and turn your head in one direction. And yes, your eyes follow. So I want you to turn your head, but let your eyes follow you. Bring it back to center. Let's go to the other direction. So taking it in the other direction. Bring it back to center. Drop your chin to your chest. Now from here, lift yourself all the way up. And then all the way back down. Taking your chin towards your chest, but releasing the back of your neck. Bring it back to a neutral position here. This time, take your, doesn't matter, right hand or left hand, but I want you to bring it to the top of your skull. And I want you to think about, as you're doing this, it's not a tug. It's not a huge movement here, but it's releasing all of those muscles on the side of your neck to begin to find a little bit more relaxation here. Bring it all the way up, and then again to the other side. Bring it all the way up. Thank you so much for joining me today for session 1. And I will have more videos posted later, but I'm also going to have some shorter ones. So have a great day. Please give me feedback. I want to know